great men exist, amazing men exist, but also horrible men exist. Evil, no good, not worth your damn time men exist. And some men are good and still not worth your time. And that's why today's video is going to help shed light on who you should be giving your time to and who you should not. So let me make something very clear to you. Here are some signs for you to see or to embrace so that you know that this man is not worth your time and you should not be entertaining him. Number one, he does not communicate with you. Now listen, this is one of those situations where I'm not saying that every man who struggles with communication is a bad man. I'm not saying that every man who can't communicate has ill intentions, but he is still not worth it for you, at least at that time, because you cannot establish a healthy, successful relationship with a man who does not want to talk to you, with a man who does not know how to express himself, or at least is willing to learn how to better express himself. One of the biggest deteriorators of relationships are a lack of communication or unhealthy, toxic communication. So you've got to recognize very quickly, if this guy is unwilling to communicate, he is not worth your time. Now, some men will make the excuse, and some women will make the excuse for these men, oh, well, he's just not used to it. He grew up around this, or his past relationships that. Okay, cool. I'm not even going to dismiss that. I'm not saying we can't have any sympathy or empathy for this man. However, he can't use that as a crutch. You can't accept that he's a bad communicator and think you're going to work your way through that while being in a relationship with him. That's not going to work. Again, you are more than likely headed towards absolute, complete disaster. So don't make excuses. If that is his issue, he needs to go work on it, fix himself, and when he's ready to have healthy communication, now we can discuss having a real relationship. So that's number one. He does not communicate well with you. Number two, he's very dismissive of your feelings. So one of the things that you'll find in a lot of situations is women saying, well, I try to talk to him and he either calls you crazy or he thinks it's stupid or he just somehow deflects, all right? Or dances around the topic completely. Now, this kind of goes hand in hand with his unwillingness or inability to effectively communicate. But regardless, being dismissive, and I literally just had a video about you should not be dismissive, man or woman, but being dismissive on his end is a huge red flag. Now, again, when it comes to red flags, I'm not a believer of you see it, you run, you're done. No, you address it, and if it cannot be corrected, then you absolutely let go. But if he is dismissive, that is a huge sign of a man who is not worth your time. Now, again, and I'll elaborate more on this a little bit later, if he had a moment where he was dismissive, but he is typically welcoming of your feelings, open to listening to you, willing to talk about it, then I'm going to give him a pass on that moment. It still needs to be corrected, but it's understandable that that was just a mistake on his end. But when he is consistently dismissive, ain't nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about. So again, doesn't communicate well. Very dismissive of you. Number three, he disrespects you. Now listen, disrespect can come in various forms, but how people view specific things as disrespectful will vary with each person. And so it's important that I say here, disrespect is going to be defined by you to a certain extent. There are some things that are pretty much universal, I would say, when it comes to being disrespectful. But there are going to be very specific things that you take offense to that someone else doesn't. So understand that you cannot assume that this man will know automatically that this is a disrespectful thing. That may sound crazy, but what would be best to do is, once the disrespect has occurred in your eyes, again, address it. Now, if he continues to be disrespectful, when you've made it clear this is a problem for you, this hurts your feelings, whatever, let him go. He is not worth it. Any man who is going to knowingly disrespect you and continuously disrespect you is not someone you should be entertaining. I don't give a damn if he has a moment of showing you all kinds of love. I don't care if he says all kinds of great things in other situations. If this man is continuously disrespectful, I don't care if he's paying your damn bills, all right? I don't care what else he's doing. If he is continuously disrespectful to you, he is not worth it. Let him go. Number 4, y'all don't want the same things. Now listen, this is another situation where he may not be a horrible guy. He may not have quote unquote ill intentions, all right? But if you two are not on the same page and you don't want the same things, then this man is not worth it. Trying to convince him to want what you want is a huge mistake. Hoping that he will change and now shift his desires to what you want is a bad mistake. You've got to embrace and accept what he's telling you he desires, where he stands, and if it does not align with what you are looking for, let it go. So many women get caught up and dragged along in situations, months, years, whatever, with men who never wanted what they wanted, who were never gonna give you what you needed, were never gonna fulfill you in the ways that you're looking for, was never going to be able to have a successful, happy, healthy relationship with you. You gotta recognize that as quickly as possible and cut them loose. There is no point in continuing if you do not want the same things. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. Listen, you deserve a man who loves you, respects you, and cherishes you. Do not settle for less. So please understand, if he does any of the things I'm going to mention in this video, it is time to let him go.